Great rising, great being, great ending, depending on what part of time this reaches you. Hope everybody's doing well. If not, I hope any of this content can aid you in a better direction. We're gonna do some things a little different today. I got my father today with me. I'm gonna let him share a lot of his insight and wisdom that he's gained through life, so y'all can see where I kind of get it from. So before we start, as always, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I will trust in the Lord with all my heart, lean not to my own understandings, but in all my ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct my path. And I'm going to flip it, and this is my father. I'm going to let him say, give him a little brief introduction, and then we're just going to get into some of these questions I got for him so we can get some of his wisdom and his insight, him being a well-seasoned gentleman. Go ahead, Dad.
Yeah, well, first thing I want to say is hello to all the listening audience. And like my son introduced, I hope you all are doing well. And if things doing well, I hope they even get better, good or bad. Life is sometimes bittersweet, but we got to learn how to deal with it and make adjustments accordingly. To walk in the right direction and not stumble and not fall, but if we do fall, be strong enough to get back up and try it again. So, we're going to get started here. I'm going to let Devin go ahead and ask the questions he has in mind, and I'm going to see if I can give some good answers. Hopefully I can, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to get to it. All right, Dad, this first question is I'm going to ask you some life questions. Just get into it like that, and then we'll jump into some faith-based questions and then some spirituality questions. First question we got for the channel is, how have you stayed strong through a lot of your challenges in life?
Well, I guess I've stayed strong according to what I've gone through and the outcome of it all. Have I focused in on what I wanted to do, and did I achieve that accomplishment? Sometimes that helps a lot, but sometimes I have to realize that I may have pushed too hard and too fast, and when I get to the top, I come rolling back down. So I had to learn how to slow my roll and stay focused on God first of all, let him direct my path. Coming up, I didn't do that. I was living in the worldly life, and it seemed to be all good at the time until I reached the church and got involved with Christ, and I learned that the thing that I was doing was not so good after all. They come and they pass, just like with time. Time comes and time goes. But it all depends on what you achieve and what you receive during them periods of time, especially through struggles. Struggles can be really difficult at times because we're not aware of what's coming our way, and it comes unexpected. So therefore, you have to be you have to have the strength enough to acknowledge what's wrong, and then figure out how to correct those things and continue to move forward. But one thing, going backwards never works. The past is the past. We cannot go back and bring it into the light again. So we have to let that go, and we have to focus on the future. But I've learned that we cannot have too much expectation. Some expectations are good, but when you have a great expectation and you don't reach that, it has a tendency to want to bring you down a little bit. You feel like you failed because you didn't reach that goal. But sometimes that goal which you don't reach is one that's you should not reach because you're not prepared for it mentally. Mentality is a strong thing, and that's where it all works at, in your mind.
In your mind.
Yes, because life can be full of imaginations, and you will get crossed into imagination with reality. And when you get it mixed like that, that can cause some confusion. People have their own opinions of things in life, and some of them try to help you out with their comments and their experiences, but each experience for each person comes in a different way for a different reason. And so therefore you have to manage what you're hearing and find out, does it fit you? If it don't fit, don't try to wear it.
Okay.
You can have too much. You can let's say you try to put 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound bag. That don't work. The bag will not hold and it will bust, and you will bust loose sometime.
Okay, so your mentality, that's one of the things that really helped you. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. This next question gonna be for the men. What does being a man mean to you now?
What does What does being a man mean to me now?
Yep.
Well, it means taking on responsibilities and being accountable of all things that you do, and not only just focusing in on yourself, but focusing on those that are really dependent upon you. And when they look at you in a respectful manner, then you feel like you're doing okay. But if you just going around life in circles, just going in a circle and never getting off the circle, you can find yourself repeating the same things over and over and over again. And the thing says that you keep doing the same things, you keep getting the same results. So it's like traveling on Interstate 465. Interstate 465 goes around the city, but there are many exits that you can get off on. But if you're not paying attention to the signs that direct you, then you will keep going and you will pass the exit point where you should get off at. But if you stay on the Interstate 65, you find you in 45 minutes, you'll be right back where you started from. And that's not good. Life is about moving forward. Our eyes are focused in front of our head so that we can see ahead, we can see forward. And our feet are pointed ahead of us so that we can walk straight ahead in a direction instead of going backwards. Like I said before, going backwards is not a good thing.
Okay, that last statement, Dad, kind of brings us into the next question, which is how do you keep going when life gets tough?
Wow, that is a good question. That is a very good question. First of all, I guess you got to have love for yourself and honor and respect yourself. And so that all things that you do will be beneficial to you. But when you benefit yourself, oftentimes those things will radiate to other people and will be beneficial to them. For we are accountable for other people. The Bible asks, when Cain killed Abel and Cain was walking through the garden, Christ asked Cain, where was his brother? Where was Abel? And the answer he gave was, am I my brother's keeper? Well, that was a sarcastic remark, a sarcastic answer. Because yes, we are responsible for one another. But we're all in this world together. We're all united in the spirit of Christ. And so therefore, if you see your brother falling, you should reach out for that brother and help pick him up. And God calls us to feed the hungry and clothe the naked. And so therefore, if you have a lot of gifts, you should use those gifts to uphold and withstand the wiles of Satan, not just for yourself, but for others. You put a protective cover around yourself, but that cover has to be wide enough for you to let others enter into it. So, especially our youth, our young children. The world is getting very complicated. Education has changed. When I was coming up, we did the basics on education, and we had to go through the books. So therefore reading was very important. But now they come with these electronic gadgets, all the information, all the answers you got are right there on the computer. So therefore you just type in a question and an answer come up. But that takes away your wisdom. That does not teach you the values of life. It just lets you give you an easy way out and an easy way to get by.
Okay, that's great, Dad. This is great so far, Dad. I appreciate that. Again, you kind of already in alignment with these questions before you even know it. And I really like what you said about, being there for others. Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my sister's keeper? And I think you hit it right on the head with that. And that brings us to our next question, which is, what advice would you give younger men facing hard times, and or what advice would you have given your younger self with the wisdom that you gained now, with that cover that you got now?
Well, first of all, you have to look at the people in your circle. If those people are struggling, having hard times, you have to contemplate on what they did, how they were doing it, and what caused them to go astray. And if you can focus in on that and get the answer to that, then you know that you should not follow that path. Some people live life and they leave breadcrumbs for the youth to follow. bring up a child is the way he should go, and when he's gone, he will not stray away from it. And that confused me when I was younger, but now I understand that when you teach people the right things, they may not receive it completely at that time, but as time goes by, they will come to realize exactly what you were saying, because they start hitting these chokeholds and these roadblocks and things like that and become stagnated. And then they think back, well, my pop told me this might happen if I didn't want it to happen. Then to be aware of your surroundings, be aware of the people around you. I was taught to never be in one place for too long and you never learn anything about it. And so this is in school, and this is on your job, this is in your leisure places. The company you keep can be bad company. And the Bible said we're compassed about a cloud of witnesses. Some witnesses are good, and some witnesses you don't want them on your cloud, because all they would do is try to bring you down. But that's not the calling for you. Your call is to be uplifting, to be spiritual. The Bible said that the Holy Spirit will give some of us the strength to heal, the strength to teach and preach.
Right.
And this is the main thing we have to stay focused on. We have to learn how to rightly divide the Word of God, because everything in the Bible is true. Everything in the Bible is good for reproofing, for correction, for directions, and gives total instructions. So you have to follow the instructions as the way it tells you to. But don't overdo it. If God tells you to go somewhere and wait. That's what you should do. You should just go there to wait. And when you get there, if you see something that draws your attention, that's not what you're there for, to answer or to search out what you see right then and there. There's another purpose for God telling you to be there. So you must be there, you must be still, and wait on God to give you further instructions.
Okay. That was great, Dad. This is going to be the last life question, and I'm going to get into 2 faith and spiritual questions, since we already kind of speaking in that manner, and to keep the video at least under 20 minutes. This next question is going to be for those kind of similar in your situation who feel like they have physical limits. What helps you feel fulfilled despite your physical challenges, Dad, being blind and being an amputee?
Wow, that is a good question. Well, what can I say about that is that I hold my faith. I believe that God still has his eyes on me, and he still has me in his hand, and he will lift me up when he feels that it's time for me. Right now, I may think I'm ready, but I may not be.
Right.
I may be so rejoiceful for getting my sight back, and that I can just go out and start repeating the things that I did in the past, because it was enjoyable. And I will forget, though, after the enjoyment came troubles.
Yeah.
So, you have to be careful of what you do. In life is sometimes up and sometimes it's down. Sometimes it's in and out. But there's a poem that says life is but an empty scene, older than the oldest broken heart, and it's newer than the newest broken dream. So therefore, you can live life, and you can go through certain channels in life, and it will be good for you. But then sometimes, after you keep on, these things will dissipate. They will go away, and you try to look back and see where you come from and what did you do, and you find that all the time you was living, the things that you thought you were doing that was prosperous turned out to be about nothing at all. And so the same thing, we have dreams, and we have dreams of great expectations. We have dreams of life getting better for us. And but even these dreams, sometimes when you wake up and you realize it was a dream, you will get brokenhearted. Okay. And so dreams are not always, they say dreams are premonition for things to come. I really don't know how true that is, but because dreams can be weird sometimes, but they're there.
Okay. All right, last question, Dad. Can you share a moment when your faith brought you peace?
Well, I guess when I was first losing my sight, I never wavered. I never got afraid. I never got scared. But I figured that I would not be able to see my direction physically, where I'm going. And so therefore, I had to trust in God to to lead me and guide me all the way. I remember I told him, I guess the Bible said we walk by faith and not by sight. And so therefore, that's what I found myself having to do. I had to move around by faith. And I couldn't see where I was going, who was around me, so I trusted in God to be my protector, to lead me and guide me. And like the Bible says, lean not to my own understanding, but all my ways acknowledge Him and let Him direct my path.
That was beautiful, Dad. That was beautiful. I appreciate you, Dad. We're gonna keep doing this. You know, I'm glad you was able to join me today. I look forward to more time with you like this. I know they will. Can we get a like in the comment? Like on this video for my dad, sharing his insight and his wisdom with us. We gonna get out of here. As always, never give up, never settle. Always love yourself. Remember, God loves you, and that life is beautiful when we allow it to be. We're gonna catch y'all later, all right?